Hello everyone, in this class we will see what are the various type of user defined function possible in C programming language. So look, the signature of user defined function is return type, then function name, then argument. Now based on this return type, the function can be of two types, that is without return value return type, here with return type. Clear? And based on this particular argument, function can be three types. So what are those? Those are, number one is parameterless or argumentless. Argumentless. Number two is call by value, and number three is call by address. Clear? So both of these type have the argument but here we have no argument. Clear? Now in our last example we already saw functions with argumentless or no argument, and parameterless or argumentless function without return type and with return type, both we saw in our last class. Now in this class we will show example of call by value and call by address, and both of these again can have with return type and without return type. Clear? So call by value, in this case also we have return type and no return type. In this case also we can have return type and no return type. So in this class we will see these four type of user defined functions that are possible in case of C programming language. So let's start with call by value. First we will see without return type, and then we will see with return type, and then call by address. In this particular case also we first we will see without return type, and then we will see with return type. Clear? So let's start. First one is call by value. In call by value again we can have two form. One is without return type, and then with return type. Both case we will learn one by one. So first one is without return type. That means we will define a function where we pass some argument to the function, but the function after complete its execution it will not going to return any particular value to the called function. Clear? So again we use the addition function. Clear? So add to number. Now in this case, in our previous class we saw the same program, but in that program we did not pass any argument to the calling function. Clear? But in this case we are going to pass some argument to the calling function, and then we will also see this function with return value and without return value. Clear? So first we write the code, after that we will explain. First of all, first form is without return type, so return type should be void. Same again, the same function pqr, then int comma int. Next, what is this int comma int? We will describe after write the code. Void main, then main body. Inside this main body let's say we have integer a equal to 2, b equal to 5, and then integer sum equal to, sorry, it will not return, so we just pqr, then a comma b, and then function close, and we write the user defined function pqr. This is our entry point function. Void pqr int, let's say x, int, let's say y. Then function body start here, and within the function body we add the value of this x and y. Integer, let's say sum equal to x plus y, and then printf sum equal to %d, then sum. So now this is our code. We can write it in different way also, clear, but this is the simplest form. So we will continue with this particular form of code, and here the form of code is not the essential part. The essential part is how system execute with the user defined function. That thing we need to learn very clearly, clear. So again we have two part. One is memory and other one is output. So system start execute from this function, main function. That means first in memory, a memory block will create for main function, clear, and inside this main function this particular instruction will execute. That means the memory is allocated for a, let's say it start from 2001, and the value initialized with 2, and then memory is allocated for b, so memory is allocated for b. Let's say the memory block start from 2020 and the value stored is 5. That means the execution of this instruction is completed. Now the next instruction. What is the next instruction? Next instruction is pqr. Now look, this is not a keyword, this is not a library function. So what system will first check? System will first look for the signature of this particular function, and system get the signature here. Now what does this signature means? This signature means this function pqr will not return any value, and not return any value, and here 2 argument is received. 2 argument it will receive. Two argument it will receive. Look, and the type of both argument is int. First argument is int, the second argument is again int. Clear? That means first argument should be integer type, the second argument also of integer type. Clear? Now look at here. Then system encounter this instruction. Whenever this instruction encounters, system first look for the signature, it gets the signature, and then look for its definition. So it comes to this particular block. That means from this main function, PQ function is called, PQR function is called, and control jump to a new block, because here again a new block starts. Now for PQR memory is allocated, and in this PQR we are receiving two argument. Integer x and integer y. Now look at here. I erase this part also. Now look at here. When when the control jump from main function to the PQR function, at that time it will pass two argument. First argument is a, second argument is b. But these a and b are in the form of variable, but variable will not pass directly. The value stored in those particular variable will pass to the function. Now the first variable is a. Now what is the value in a? The value of a is 2. That means the first argument will be 2. What is the value of second argument? Value of second argument is b. That means the content of b. So what is the content of b? The content of b is 5. That means control jump to the function pqr with 2 argument. The first argument is 2 and the second argument is 5. Clear? Now when control comes here, this particular instruction replaced as integer x equal to 2, and this particular instruction replaced as integer y equal to 5. What does it means? That means the first argument passed from the main function will be received by the variable integer x, by the first variable. First argument will receive by the first variable, second argument will receive by the second variable. If there are some other argument also there, at that time we have to receive all those arguments. That means if we pass 5 argument, at that time we have to receive 5 arguments also. That means we have to declare 5 different variable in function signature as well as in function definition. Clear? So that thing, number of argument also depends on the programmer itself. That means program itself. So now inside this function, first it received the 2 value that passed from this function pqr, that is here 2, 5. So 2 is stored in x, 5 is stored in y. That means inside this pqr function we declare a variable called x. Let's say the memory block is 3010. I just write the first base address of the memory block. I am not writing all the 4 bytes. Clear? But you have to consider there in this particular block it is a 4-byte block. Here it is a 4-byte block. Here it is a 4-byte block. Clear? Because all the variables here are declared as integer, and integer need 4 byte. So and after declaring this memory block inside pqr function, the value stored 2 because 2 is the first argument, and then another variable is declared here with named y, let's say 3020, and the value initialized in this particular variable is the second argument, that is 5. That's why we write this instruction as like this: integer x equal to 2, integer y equal to 5. Clear? This is just because of easy to understand. Clear? Now that means both the argument received by the function pqr. Next thing is comes inside the function block and then execute the first instruction. So in first instruction again it is a declarative statement. So first system need to declare the variable sum. So from here memory block will create for this particular variable sum. This memory block again defined inside the pqr function. That means memory block also created from the memory block pqr. That means here another memory block is created with variable with memory block name is sum, let's say 3025, and then value initialization. So again here one expression is given. So first evaluate this expression. The value of x is 2 plus the value of y is 5. That means it will become 7. Now this 7 will store in this sum variable. So the sum will contain 7. Next, that means this particular execution of this particular instruction is completed. The next part is, that means the next instruction is printf sum equal to %d. Now here it is the printf. That means the result of this instruction is, the purpose of this instruction is to display something to the output screen or output buffer or our monitor. That means here it will come in the output screen part. That means here in output we will get sum equal to and then %d sum. what is the value of sum? The content of sum is 7, so here we get 7. This is our result. Now that means this instruction is completed. Next it will encounter the closing brace, and whenever closing brace encountered, system come back to the main function or called function. Here the called function is main function, that means from main function this particular function is called, so it come back to the main function. And where it will come back, from where this function is called at that particular location, only it backs control back to that particular location itself. That means now the control come from from this PQR function to this particular PQR instruction. Look, this is the instruction and this is the function definition. Clear? That means the instruction is executed. Now control back to the original function from where it get called. Now when control come out from any particular block, what system will do? System will deallocate all the memory block that are allocated for this particular function. Now what are the memory blocks allocated for this function PQR? The memory block allocated to this particular PQR is this particular memory block. That means the whole memory block will deallocated by the system and come back to this particular main function. Now after completion of this particular instruction in main function, there is nothing left. System encounter the closing brace of main function. That means the execution of the program ends up here. The execution of this particular whole program ends up here. Now look, execution start from here. Start open brace of main function, and then execution stop when system encounter the closing brace for the main function. Clear? And this is how the call by value without return type will executed by the program, by the system. Next thing is with return type. Now look, one more point. Now look, when the execution of main function stop, here, end up here, at that time whatever memory block allocated for the main function also, those memory block also deallocated by the system. That means when the execution is stop, at that time this particular memory block also deleted. This particular memory block also deallocated by the system itself. That means whatever memory is used at the time of execution, all the memories are again available after execution of the program. After execution of the program, all the memory again available for any other programs. Clear? So the next part is call by value with return type. Clear? So let's do it. Now for call by value with return type also, we are going to use the same addition program. Clear? So let's start. Int PQR int, int. Now what does this signature means? This signature means the function PQR will return one integer type value, and this function PQR will also receive two argument both of integer type. First argument is integer type, second argument is also integer type. Now here in this case we are using both integer type, but it is also possible we can pass different type of arguments, but at that time we need to concentrate on the receiving part and how we are going to pass those type of arguments. We will see later some examples related to this multi-type of argument, how we can pass multi-type of argument to a particular function. All those things we will cover in this particular tutorial set. So next thing is we need to define the main function, void main function And then let's say we have again int a equal to 2, b equal to 3, and then int s equal to pqr a comma b, then printf sum equal to %d s. Now we need to define the pqr function. So int pqr, now look, we are going to pass two argument, that means we need to receive two argument here. That means let's say integer x for first argument and second argument is again integer type, so int y. And then int, let's do it directly, return x plus y. So now how system will execute this program? Again we have two part, one is memory and other one is output screen. Now system start execution from main function, that means a memory block is allocated for main function. Inside this main function, first you declare a variable a, that means here a variable a is memory is allocated for variable a. Let's say the variable base address is 200,000 and value initialized with 2. Second variable declared with b and value is 3, let's say 2025. Next the third variable, second instruction. In second instruction again we are declaring another variable, so we declare variable memory allocate for s and then we call the function pqr. That means what system will do? Next system will come to this particular function. From here system will come to this particular function with two argument a and b, that means the two argument will be 2 and 3. 2 is the content of a and b, 3 is the content of b. That means what will happen in memory? In memory here we get pqr a comma b and then control jump to a new memory block, that is pqr, and here we receive two argument with the help of two variable integer x and integer y. Clear? Now the first argument is 2, the second argument is 3. Now this particular instruction will become int x equal to 2, this particular instruction will become int y equal to 3. That means here one memory block is created for x and value initialized with 2, second memory block is created with y and value initialized with 3, and here base address let's say 3010 3020, and then that means we already received two argument. And next system enters to the function body and encounter directly the return statement. So what system will do here? In this particular case here we are not returning any value, here it is given an expression. So what system will do first? System will first execute this particular given expression. System first execute this particular expression. So what will be the value of x? That means here in pqr function system encounter return x plus y. That means first system will execute this particular instruction. What is the value of x? X is 2. What is the value of y? Y is 3. That means 2 plus 3 we get 5. That means this particular return statement will become return 5. That means now here it becomes 5. That means now the return statement encounters. Now return statement will execute. So what will do? system will go back to the called location. System will go back to the called location with the returned value, and the returned value here is 5. So here it becomes 5. That means the whole instruction, this PQR instruction will replaced with 5, and the whole statement will becomes now s equal to 5. Clear? Now in memory, control come back to this particular instruction with the value 5, and this particular whole expression will replaced with 5, and this value will assigned to the variable s. That means this value will stored to the memory block represented by the s, by the variable s. That means the 5 is stored in s. Clear? And control already come out from this particular function PQR. That means all the memory block, all the memory that are allocated to this particular function will be deallocated. So this is no longer exist in memory. Now control comes again to the main function, and this execution of this instruction is completed. Now come to the next instruction, and system encounter this thing printf function. That means it will display something, and what is that? That is sum equal to, so in output screen we will get sum equal to again %d the value of s. Now this is inside main function, and inside main function the value of s is, what is that? That is 5. So it will give us sum is 5, and look, the sum of a and b is 5 only. Clear? So this is how system execute the program, and this is how whenever we return any value, we have to receive that particular value. That means after getting that value from the function, we need to store that value to a memory block, and because of that reason only we declare this particular variable integer s, and as initial and assign the return value to this particular variable. So this is how system execute with call by value and return type. Clear? Now why this is called call by value? Now look at here. In this particular program, we are passing two variable a and b, but we are not passing the actual variable. We are not passing the variable itself. We are passing the value stored on those particular variable. Clear? So here we are not passing the variable a itself, variable b itself. We will pass the value stored in a, the value stored in b. That's what we did here. This is the value of a, that is 2, and this is the value of b, that is 3, and as we pass the value stored in the memory, that's why this particular function call is called call by value type. Clear? Now look at here. Here in main function also we have 2, 3. In PQR function also we have 2, 3. But where these particular values are actually originated, that means which is the actual function where these values are defined. These values are defined in the main function actually, and from main function we are passing those values to the PQR function. That's why these values in main function is called actual value or actual parameter, and in PQR function those values are called for formal parameters or formal argument. That means here this a and b will called, this a and b are called as actual argument, and this x and y are called formal argument or formal parameter. Look, parameter and argument are two similar